So one-word answer. I just want that answer from the BJP.
Who do the carbon though?
Okay.
I said we are not at all neutral. I mean,
All right.
as I said, I mean.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry I'd have to wrap this. We're getting some breaking news on the broadcast. This war of words is only going to continue till the elections. But right now, some breaking news, and this concerns the National Investigation Agency once again. The NIA has now attached 17 properties of suspected terror financer Zahoor Ahmad Shah Watali in the Hurriyat terror funding case, in which the JKLF commander Yasin Malik is currently undergoing life imprisonment. An important update: National Investigation Agency attaching properties of Shah. Let me actually take this across to Ishan Vani, my colleague who's joining us on the broadcast. Ishan, how important is this in the case against Yasin Malik, considering there are properties of Shah Watali that are being attached by the NIA, 17 properties that we are told. Where all are these properties really, and then how will it impact the case?
Well, what we have been told by NIA sources is that 17 properties which belong to Zahoor Watali have been attached in Handwara area of Kupwara in Kashmir by the NIA, who had an order from Special NIA Court Patiala House under Section 33(1) of UAPA. Now, these we are told that were being used to finance militancy in Kashmir Valley. As you already know, that NIA has been investigating several, links of Hawala funding in Kashmir, and sources saying that they have been receiving money through specially designated global terrorist Hafiz Saeed. And other people were also, seen financing and sending money. Now, he had shown that there was a sale of a property of land measuring 20 canals, which was by the name of Zahoor Watali's company, and, that has been attached. In the early morning today, NIA teams, one team came there.
Ishan, thank you so much. I'm sorry I'd have to interrupt you there, but that's an important update that we are bringing to you. And on that note, it's a wrap from my side on Viewpoint. My colleague Shivani is up next with Plain Speak.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Panchayat elections have been declared in West Bengal in a single phase on July 8, and this has regrettably kick-started another round of violence and politics in the state. The process of filing nominations began on Friday, with BJP raising questions of the amount of security present and the fairness of the polls. Hence, BJP and Congress, in fact, both have approached Calcutta High Court demanding online filing of nominations and deployment of central forces in Bengal. The TMC soon launched a counter-attack on the opposition in the state and claimed that they are trying to delay the polls because of their inability to field candidates. Meanwhile, West Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda has issued a stern warning that violence will not be tolerated and assured the opposition parties that the elections in the state will be conducted in a free and fair manner. The war didn't end there though. Amid all of this, a fresh row erupted between TMC and BJP over Abhishek Banerjee's visit to Thakubari temple. Abhishek Banerjee complained that BJP workers blocked his way when he reached the temple, while Suvendu Adhikari of the BJP alleged that TMC MP tried to enter the temple without permission. The visuals of the clashes and the chaos that broke out inside the temple went viral on social media, and both parties have blamed each other for the chaos. We'll get you more on that in just a bit. But for several years now, we've seen how violence resurfaces in the state of West Bengal during polls, and especially Panchayat polls. Amidst political rivalry, will the people of Bengal continue to suffer? Can free and fair elections really be held in West Bengal? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. Both BJP and Congress, as I mentioned, moved the court and demanded that voting should be conducted with central security forces, the process of filing of nominations should be online, and CCTV cameras should be installed in nomination as well as polling booths. Now, the court has finished hearing the matter today, all sides, and has reserved the order. Let me quickly give you an update of what really transpired in court today. So the State Election Commission was asked to give its responses on what the opposition wanted. Today it submitted its report on Panchayat polls and proposed that the date of nomination filing can be extended by a day, just a day, that is till June 16. On the other hand, the court proposed the SEC to postpone the polling date itself to July 14th to give everybody a little bit of time to assess the situation and get more boots on ground. They asked if the dates for nomination can be changed completely, not till June 15, but from June 15 to June 21. The court also proposed that nomination time should also be extended till 5 p.m. every day. Meanwhile, fresh violence has been reported in Sonamukhi area of Bankura district in West Bengal. A video was shared by the BJP in which they claim that they are not being allowed to file nominations. According to the party, BJP MLA from the area was attacked outside the nomination center. Amidst violence, the SEC directed all district magistrates and superintendents of police to impose Section 144 in a 1-kilometer radius of all nomination centers of Panchayat elections. The order will be enforced till Thursday. Meanwhile, a fresh war of words also erupted between the TMC and the BJP over ruckus at Thakubari temple in North 24 Parganas, as I mentioned. Just ahead of Panchayat polls, TMC MP and General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee decided to visit Thakubari temple. The temple is situated in Union Minister Shantanu Thakur's constituency. So a storm erupted after a CISF Jawan was spotted wearing shoes inside the temple premises. The TMC claimed that the Jawan was one of Union Minister Shantanu Thakur's guard. Abhishek Banerjee also accused the BJP of blocking his entry inside the temple. The BJP were quick to react and alleged that TMC goons had stoked violence inside the temple premises. The BJP also claimed that Bengal police were mute spectators even as this chaos was breaking out. Now, Panchayat polls in Bengal have always been problematic. In 2003, that's 20 years ago, the Panchayat elections gained infamy for the number of deaths reaching up to 76, of which 45 died in Murshidabad district alone. In the 2018 polls, they set a record for the number of seats won without a contest. Even the Supreme Court at that time had expressed its shock. In 2018, there were major allegations against the ruling party, the TMC, that it caused violence and did not allow the opposition to file nominations. 14 people had lost their lives in that violence. According to the State Election Commission, 20,000 of the 58,000 plus seats were uncontested in Bengal last time around in Panchayat polls. The TMC won 95% Zilla Parishad, 90% Panchayat Samiti and 73% Gram Panchayat seats. This included all the 34% uncontested seats last time around. The BJP last time too had accused the ruling TMC of rigging polls by not allowing nominations, in fact by other parties at all, not just the BJP. So the first big debate that's coming up on Plain Speak today, can 3 and 4 polls be possible in West Bengal? Is it even possible in a state like West Bengal, which has a long history of violence, particularly marring Panchayat polls?
बंगाल में कानून बोल के कुछ नहीं है। यहाँ जो रूल ऑफ लॉ नहीं चलता है, जो रूलर है उसका लॉ ही चलता है। स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन को टीएमसी ने अपने फ्रंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बना दिया।
ऑपोजिशन नाटक कर रहा है, उसका पास पूरा कैंडिडेट नहीं है। वो लोग पूरा कोशिश कर रहा है, जो उसका प्रॉब्लम है उसका पास कैंडिडेट्स नहीं है, उसका ये मुद्दा बनाने का एक पॉलिटिकल कोशिश है।
Let me go across to the guests joining us. Priyanka Tibrava of the BJP, Biswajit Deb of the TMC joining us, Meeta Chakrabarti is from the Congress Party, and Jayanta Ghoshal is senior journalist also with us on the show. Let me go across to Biswajit Deb first of the TMC. Since your party has been in power, for many terms now, and West Bengal as a state, before your party came to power too, has been facing these questions. The question that the TMC will face is that since you came to power, the situation hasn't improved. That elections, no matter what kind of elections they are, and particularly local elections or rural elections, they are mired with violence of the kind which is in today's day and age unheard of in any other Indian state.
We witness one particular thing, that BJP has always got an issue. The problem is they don't have any candidates, they don't have an organization to contest the Panchayat polls. It is almost 80,000 seats. Tell them to contest in at least 40,000 seats. Then we will see that yes, they have got an organization, they have got a booth level organization to contest. If they cannot, if somebody restricts their candidate from going and filing the nomination, let them call Abhishek Banerjee straight away. Act that
Why will they call Abhishek Banerjee?
Has clearly said, please, because the allegation is against TMC. The allegation is against TMC.
But is he the Home Minister?
And we will ensure that each and every, one minute.
Why call Abhishek
we will
Banerjee?
ensure that each and every, because the fingers are pointed out against TMC.
Yeah, but you've got a government. As far as I know, he's not in charge of your government.
Yes, we have got a government. We have got a government, but since the fingers are raised against the party will take the responsibility.
No, the party will not take responsibility. The government needs to take responsibility.
The party will take the responsibility.
The party is not responsible for conducting elections in Bengal. Sir, you also know that the TMC is not in charge of conducting these elections. But the finger will be pointed at the government. As far as I know, Abhishek Banerjee is not the head of your government.
No. The fingers are pointed out against TMC. Fingers are pointed out
yes,
against
so the government should act.
Fingers are pointed out against
obviously, the TMC cannot act on TMC.
So we will ensure that each and every candidate, is able to file that.
Okay, fair enough. But you know, you sidestepped my question. Mr. Biswajit Deb, Mr. Deb, this question is not of 2020 or 2023 alone. Sir, one second. Let me ask you my follow-up question. Okay, I'll take that to the BJP and the Congress because both are saying the same thing. But sir, let's not brush under the carpet the fact that violence is part and parcel as far as politics and especially Panchayat elections in West Bengal is concerned.
From the people of Bengal, exactly like the way they got the reply in 2021.
Okay. Can I come in now? Sir, you may ask the question whether you've got the candidates or not. But my fundamental question to you was that violence during elections is something that West Bengal has been infamous for from pre-TMC times. But my question to you was that has the situation improved since you came to power? Because every election we see violence. In 2003 to 2018, we've seen violence to the extent that 34% of the seats were uncontested last time. Now, you cannot say that the situation is such that no opposition can come up in the state of West Bengal. That's an indictment of the culture in West Bengal if there aren't enough opposition members to contest elections.
The culture in West Bengal, if it has been deteriorated, it has been deteriorated due to the instigation and provocation of the BJP leaders. These BJP leaders, they are provoking their workers and their leaders to instigate violence. They are instigating violence.
But sir, you are the government in charge. On top of that, you claim BJP has no presence in Bengal. I don't understand. You change your TMC changes its line on BJP very conveniently. On one hand, you say BJP is nothing in Bengal. You rubbish them. You say they are nobodies. But then everything that goes wrong in West Bengal is the opposition's fault.
Well, will you let me say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Will you let me say? Are you the spokesperson of BJP?
No, but I am asking you, why are you blaming the opposition when you are in power for 3 terms?
I am sorry to say. You are behaving like a...
No, you can say that. I am not hassled by that. How is it that a government that has been in power for 3 terms is blaming the opposition for violence in the state?
Please let me reply. It is BJP who is provoking the violence, who is instigating violence, and who wants to project this particular state in a manner that this particular state is absolutely a violence-ridden state. That is what they want to project.
Well, crude bombs are found in no other state in India as much as they are found in West Bengal. Now, I don't quite understand why does the TMC get offended when somebody asks them the questions on crude bombs, on violence, on rioting, on arson. If it happens under your nose, you will be asked question. No? It's not a narrative.
You ask BJP what they are doing.
What are they doing?
BJP what they are doing in
Tell me what are they doing, I'll ask them.
What they are doing in Uttar Pradesh. What happened in Hathras. What happened in Unnao? Where is the central force?
Okay.
Where is central force?
Now,
Where is
I
ED?
don't know why
Where is
you've gone
CBI?
to Hathras
In
and
Uttar Pradesh.
Unnao. How are they comparable to holding free and fair elections?
not?
I don't
Why
understand.
not?
But the fact that
Why
you're
not?
going to Uttar
They-
Pradesh and
they-
raising
they-
Hathras and Unnao proves my point. It proves my point that in no other state in India are elections held under the climate of violence as much as West Bengal. And there is no denying that. But Priyanka Tibrewal, please come in, and Meeta Chakrabarti will also respond. The TMC is saying that all of this is your doing. You keep instigating violence. The violence is in your favor. In other words, that you benefit if there is violence in West Bengal. On top of that, you've not got enough people to contest these elections. That's why you are cribbing and crying.
Shivani, I'll answer to all the questions being asked to me, provided this gentleman doesn't get violent here on the screen. Now, here you see there are irrefutable evidences where we have seen that who is responsible for any kind of unrest in West Bengal? It is the state government. Whether it was the Ram Navami procession or whether it is the elections, every time. And I am not saying so. They have been pulled by the judiciary on number of occasions. There are evidences where it was proved that whatever happened was a state-sponsored violence, and for which many cases are being carried on in
Okay,
the
but let's
High Court,
stick
and
to
investigations
elections.
are being going on.
Let's stick to conducting elections.
Yes, conducting elections. So conducting elections in 2018, we have seen that so many seats, I mean, probably 30 to 35% of the
34%
seats went uncontested. They did not allow people to file nomination. So today also there was a matter which was going on before the High Court, where it was said that the number of days which they are allotting for the other oppositions to file their nominations is not appropriate. You cannot file nominations. Forget the opposition parties or the national parties or the ruling party, except the ruling party. But those who will be independent candidates, they will not get a chance only to file the nomination.
No, but is your complaint that there is an element of threat and violence? That is why you cannot file nominations, or is this a time issue?
Both. See, they are acting very smartly on this occasion because 2018, everyone has witnessed, was a blood-shedding election which happened in West Bengal. Everywhere, more than 100 people of BJP Karyakartas died in 2018 elections. What are they speaking? So this time, like we have seen the appeasement which Mr. Vishwajit was saying here, whatever you are asking for the state government, he's saying it is against Abhishek Banerjee. So already his clear appeasement is visible here. We are not questioning Abhishek Banerjee. Who is Abhishek Banerjee? We are questioning the state government here because police minister is the chief minister herself. It is in regard to the law and order situation.
But the elections are conducted under the aegis of the State Election Commission. Why are you not taking your grouse to the State Election Commission?
It is the State Election Commission which is running on the orders of the CM over here. Everything is happening under their nose. If it is the State Election Commission, you see the number of seats which are here in West Bengal is more than 73. How much police force does Mamata Banerjee have? She will not be able to deploy one single police personnel in one booth. So from where will they give security and protection? Only today it has started. We have seen the bloodshed which happened today in Bankura.
Okay.
We have seen how a represented member of parliament was not allowed to enter.
Yes, there two separate occasions have come to light, but since Friday, a lot of allegations have been made that there is state-sponsored violence and also state-sponsored limitations being put on the candidates of other parties. Mr. Dev, I know you want to come in, but two of my guests have not spoken. Let me give them an opportunity, then you please respond. Meeta Chakrabarti, the TMC is saying you've got no candidates to contest. That is why you're raising this hue and cry. But my fundamental question is on the culture in West Bengal. It is not of today's, it is not even of the last decades. This has been happening since, time immemorial, at least 3-4 decades in Bengal. But the situation is not improving. No other state in India goes through this when local body elections are being contested.
Okay, good evening to all your viewers and to my fellow panelists. Now, whether Congress or any other opposition party has enough contenders or candidates, it's for them to worry about. The TMC should not be concerned whether Congress party has enough candidates to file a nomination or whether we do not have. What they should be concerned about is the law and order situation of the state, which is clearly the state responsibility. On the very first day of nomination filing on Friday night, one of the Congress workers in Khodgram in Murshidabad district with the name of Phulchand Sheikh got brutally murdered. There were other family members who were brutally injured. They are in the hospital. PCC President Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary had visited both the family home as well as the hospital, the injured people in the hospital. My limited query is, who is going to take the responsibility and accountability of this lost human life? Are human lives so cheap that no election in West Bengal can be completed without bloodshed?
Precisely.
Be it the assembly election, be it the Lok Sabha election, be it the Panchayat election, and of course there is more violence in Panchayat election. We do not see any completion of any election, which is supposed to be the celebration of democracy in the largest democracy of the world. We do not see any completion of any election without bloodshed and violence. And then there is this attempt of normalizing violence by just putting the blame. On one hand, they would say there is no opposition, there is no BJP, there is no Congress, there is no left in West Bengal. But then when it comes to controlling violence, curbing violence, making people accountable, then they would just like to shift the blame on the opposition party. This is not going to work this time. 2023 is not 2018. We have better connectivity, we have more media presence, and we are going to fight this battle right till the end. And we are going to make the state government accountable. We are not asking that whether we have enough candidates or whether we are going to win or lose, but at least let us participate in the election in a free and fair process. What did we ask for? There should be more time. You only give 6 days with 4 hours each for nomination filing. Even the High Court is observing that it is not sufficient time for nomination being filed. We are asking for more time. We are asking for better law and order being prevailed in the state of West Bengal. We are asking for deployment of central forces. We have asked that all the processes, be it on the polling day or be it on the counting day, it has to be videographed.
I understand.
So
no, I said exactly.
Do not worry whether we have.
No, this is par for the course. No, I said exactly.
Free and fair polls.
No, Mimita ji, I said exactly the same thing to Biswajit. He accused me of being a BJP spokesperson. I guess today I am both a BJP spokesperson and a Congress spokesperson, because both of them are raising the same questions to the state government, and the questions will go to the state government. But I want to go across to Jayanta Ghoshal on the show as well. The larger point I'm trying to drive at is that, it's 2023. Last time, 34% of the seats went uncontested. That's a sham of an election. It is an indictment of the state culture. And I'm not blaming one particular party, but I'm just saying it's an indictment of the state culture that there are not even enough candidates at the most local level of elections so that all booths can have a fight. That's a sham.
Yes. Shivani, you are a very brilliant anchor. When you are asking question to TMC, TMC is thinking that you are the spokesperson of BJP. And when you are asking the question to BJP, and she is thinking that you are questioning on behalf of TMC, I think it's for a journalist. Last 40 years, I have in this Patrakarita. So I can say that this is a very brilliant approach to the issue. And I hope you will also expect from me as a journalist that I am not wearing any jersey. I'm telling you this violence. We should condemn this violence, and it is a bad extension of bad CPMism. Because I have seen CPM for the more than 3 decades, and violence, political violence, as you discussed, political violence is a phenomenon, old phenomenon of West Bengal. Caste violence, religiosity, violence on communal violence, it is more in UP and Bihar. But according to the intelligence report, Home Ministry's report, it's a public report, that West Bengal is #1 in political violence, and especially in Panchayat election. You are discussing the last Panchayat election. But I will say 2 things. That one, TMC, if you don't have the public support, if you don't have your organizational capability, violence also, in Bangladesh also we watch what is happening, their coming election. Because, if you boycott the election, that doesn't mean that you are saying that ruling party is doing violence and we cannot give candidates. This is due to the violence. But in UP, Akhilesh also, the Samajwadi Party's violence was there and BJP combated. So if there is any violence of the ruling regime, I think it is condemnable. And what BJP is saying, I admire. I respect Priyanka. She is also a lawyer. Vishwajit also, he was a Solicitor General of a state. So I am afraid of these legal eagles. But I, as a journalist, I can say that it is a bad name for TMC if there is violence, and Abhishek Banerjee not as a part of the government. But when he is going to the states, he is trying to rectify the fault lines, and he is saying that this is not done. We will not encourage violence. But I have only one question for BJP, that you are the main opposition now. You have a lot of expectation in 2024, 2026. But why? You cannot combat this violence. You have in power. 2021, BJP said that violence will occur. Paramilitary force, home ministry, in this country, there is a constitution. You can handle this, but if you cannot combat this violence of the ruling regime, you should
But how do they combat
is
it?
also needed. That what is the organizational
Goshalji, how should they counter it? How do they counter it? You mean that they should counter blow by blow?
No, actually, I don't say that tit for tat. But the public support, every individual of the West Bengal, is it violence from? A small teacher of a village, is he, in favor of this violence? So, BJP has to campaign properly against this violence.
Okay, I'll ask Priyanka that question, and maybe Meeta ji can also respond to that. But I have final 4 minutes left. Let me give Mr. Deb an opportunity to respond now. You've heard everybody. All opposition parties are raising the same question, and my question is not against you per se. I'm just saying, now you've been in power for 3 terms. Is it not your responsibility that what had become the image of West Bengal is changed, and changed for the better? And that there should be true democracy at the local level? That there should be not 30% seats uncontested, that the TMC just wins?
You see, BJP is asking these questions. Now ask them first of all that what happened in Tripura. In Tripura, 80% of the candidates were declared elected uncontested. That is what had occurred in Tripura. That it's exactly what happened in Tripura. And they are talking about election commission. And they are controlling the election commission of India. They are controlling almost all the constitutional offices in India. They are now trying to grab even the Supreme Court. Now they are talking about controlling the State Election Commission. We have repeatedly said that we will ensure, the government will ensure a free and fair election. We as a party, on behalf of TMC, we give full assurance that there will be no violence, and we will ensure that each and every political party can contest this particular
Let's see if these elections are going to be better than the last one. But my point is that even one life, sir, I heard earlier today the TMC said that only one person died. I'm sorry to say, but even as Meeta ji said, for elections to be held in a state, why does anyone need to die? This is a norm in West Bengal which is unacceptable in any other state in the country.
Shivani, it's a pity.
I'll come to you, Priyanka ji. Let him finish.
They will again suffer a humiliating defeat.
Okay, that's fine. Let them suffer a humiliating defeat. That's not the point here. That's not the point.
Concentrate in maintaining law and order in the state.
And we assure
your focus should be law and order at the state. Do not be worried about the results.
Fair election. It will be a free and fair election.
Okay, Priyanka, I'll give you an opportunity. Let Meeta respond. Meeta ji, you heard what the TMC is saying, that we give an assurance that free and fair elections will be held and the State Election Commission will do its best.
Their assurance is only, lip service, because we saw what happened in Murshidabad to one of our own Congress party workers and how brutally he was killed only 2 days back.
So what do you think can be done?
Now, my limited point is the state law and order not a state responsibility? How can they say that we are giving you assurance and then there is violence happening? There's a constant atmosphere of constant fear and intimidation where people are being warned not to go and file nomination. So normal people will not be able to fight with, and how do we combat this kind of terrorism? So in order to combat this violence, we do need central forces, we need deployment, we need law and order to be sustained, and we need constant media presence. First, we have to enable that there should
was
be
central
a free
force.
and fair
What happened?
atmosphere. There should be a
You got a
fearless
big zero
atmosphere.
in Bengal.
Okay.
You got
Sir,
a big
sir.
zero in Bengal. And BJP
Yes,
was thrown
because
away.
you just
Central
and
force
just
was
recently
there
in
in
Shagotiki, do you
2021.
remember?
And
In
you and your
Shagotiki, Congress
and you
won,
and your
and
partner
then you took
CPIM,
you
and your
poached our
partner
candidate. Shame on you
CPIM
guys.
got a big
Shame
zero.
on you that
Both
you
of you
let her
got big
finish.
zeros.
fight against
And
the
BJP
BJP
was
and you only
thrown away
fight
from
Congress
Bengal.
MLA to poach.
Did you forget that?
You only fight
Did you
Congress
forget
MLA
that?
to poach while fighting
Bring
against
central
the
force.
BJP.
Bring in
That
army.
exposes
Bring in
your
army.
hypocrisy.
Okay.
That
Bring in
exposes
UNO.
Mr.
your
Deb,
double
But people will
standard.
vote.
Mr. Deb, let her
People will
finish.
vote
You got
for
our uninterrupted
TMC.
time.
Violence,
Please
for
don't
trying to
monopolize the time.
justify
Let,
violence.
no, I think what Meeta is saying is justified, and it's fair for the opposition party to ask this question. Priyanka, I've got a minute left. Two questions. One, what is it that you would also ask for? And why is it that if the easy solution is central forces, why is the Home Ministry not doing this? That government is your government, right? The BJP government that should be sympathetic
Right,
to your
Shivani.
cause. And secondly,
Right.
what Mr. Ghoshal said, that why don't you counter this by public perception and public ground support?
Answer to all of this is just one, that unlike TMC, we believe in the federal structure, and that is what is happening. That because we believe in the federal structure, because we believe in the statute and norms of our country, we believe in the Representation of People's Act, and we believe in the State Election Commission Act along with the Central Election Commission Act. We cannot boycott anything. It is as per the rules and norms that we are going. That is why we went to the court of law asking for the online nominations to be filed. That is why we are asking the court of law that this is something which is happening every time in Bengal. Let there be an order for central forces in order to, seek the security of people of West Bengal. It is not that the Home Ministry can simply decide and send the central forces here. Then again, tomorrow they will see that, BJP is taking things in their hand and they are trying to run our state.
So are you hopeful the court will? Are you hopeful the court will
You
grant the few things that you're asking for? Mr. Deb,
In 2021.
Mr. Deb, not like this,
But what
please.
happened?
Priyanka,
Mr. Deb
I just have 10
actually
seconds.
needs
Are you
some
hopeful the
access
court
to
will
medicine,
grant
so
what you
that is
want, what you've asked for?
See, definitely we have asked for online nominations, but here you see the state has nothing in the line of development. They are just lagging behind in everything and they have no facilities. They don't even have video cameras for the booths. What will they do online nominations? They lack each and everything because no development.
No, but that's the Election
in the last
Commission's
7 years.
responsibility, right? You can't blame the State government for that. This Election Commission has to equip its state unit.
Here, the entire administration, the police, the havaldars, the peons, everything is run by Mamata Banerjee along with the State Election Commission.
Okay,
There is
I'll
no
leave it
other
at that.
infrastructure which the Election Commission has here.
Well,
Everything is
in
run by the
past,
PM.
when it came to West Bengal, we've had to look at the courts to, get things moving in certain directions via investigations, etc. Possibly here, we'll have to look at the court one more time. I do thank our guests for joining us. Let's see how these Panchayat polls can be conducted. Moving on to the hijab row from Damoh in Madhya Pradesh. Here, a school called Ganga Jamuna School, remember, came under the scanner after a poster put up by them showed non-Muslim girls also wearing a hijab. An FIR was registered against the school management in this regard. 3 staff, including the principal, have now been arrested after it came to light via students that they were being forced to wear hijab inside school, amongst other issues. Police have also said the school management has been booked under Section 295, injuring or defiling place of worship with intent to insult the religion of any class, and 506, which is punishment for criminal intimidation, and also under the Juvenile Justice Act. The MP government has also de-recognized the registration of the school for failing to have infrastructure as per recognition rules. Child rights body, the NCPCR, had also alleged that non-Muslim students were being forced to do Muslim prayers, and there was an attempt to convert minors. Madhya Pradesh School Education Minister Inder Singh Parmar also ordered the removal of the District Education Officer of Damoh, who had earlier given a clean chit to the school. He was accused of favouring a private school administration. The minister also alleged that the role of the district collector was questionable. There have also been raids conducted on other businesses of the group that ran this school. It has come to light that Ganga Jamuna group also ran a mill and a tobacco factory. So the FIR was registered after 2 students came out and gave statements. Let's take a look at what the students themselves have alleged. They claim that they were being asked to wear or forced to wear the hijab inside school. Students also alleged that they were being asked to recite Muslim prayers. They were even made to remove tilak or kalawa, in other words, Hindu religious symbols. Students say they were being forced to read Urdu as well in this school. Muslim students, they say, get discount in fees. Shockingly, one of the students has also revealed that when they conveyed these issues to their parents ignored the issue. The school principal, Afsa Sheikh, a teacher and a watchman were arrested under relevant sections of the Madhya Pradesh Religious Freedom Act as well. Later, they were produced before the local court, which sent them on judicial remand. Damoh municipality, meanwhile, has issued a notice to Ganga Jamuna school regarding illegal construction in its premises. The school has been given 3 days to respond, failing which the municipality has been asked to demolish the construction. This is regarding a new building constructed and not the original school building in the premises. The big issue, though, we debate in light of what has come to light from Damoh is that is there a blatant misuse of institutions going on, that too in the name of religion?
सही दिशा में जा रही है और मध्य प्रदेश में कोई भी फिरका परस्त ताकत होगी, माफिया होगा तो बुलडोजर चलते ही है।
वो लोग हिजाब पहन इंदर जाने देते थे, वरना जाने नहीं देते थे और वो लोग उर्दू पढ़वाते थे, उर्दू नहीं बनती थी तो वो लोग मारते थे और वो लोग एक बार नवाज भी करवाते थे।
जब मेरा निकाह 27/1/2004 में हुआ और वही मेरी मर्जी से हुआ, किसी का दबाव नहीं था। स्कूल का तो बिल्कुल नाम जो लिया जा रहा है, बार बार मीडिया ले रही है हाजी सर का इसमें कोई रोल नहीं है।
We've seen all kinds of hijab rows erupting, not just, of course, in Karnataka. There was recently one in Srinagar as well. But this is a very different kind of a case and it throws up very interesting questions. Let me take them to Saira Shah Halim, who's an author and activist joining us. Karuna Gopal is a political analyst, and also Desh Ratan Nigam, who's a political analyst, leans towards the RSS. You know, this is one of those cases, Desh Ratan Nigam, let me begin with you. It opens that fundamental question that whether, even if the school is, let's say, a minority institution, is it fair for them to practice certain religious, practices in a manner which makes it almost impossible for non-Muslim students, in this case, to refuse to abide by that, because then, the school would wake up tomorrow and say that, if you don't want it, then don't come and study in this school. It's almost the exact reverse of what has happened in Karnataka over the hijab row. There, the girls were insisting that even though there's a uniform and it's a secular institution run by the government, they should be allowed to wear the hijab because it's their religious belief and education should not suffer because of that. A lot of activists made that statement that if it is hijab versus education, let the girls study in those schools. What is the big deal if there's a hijab? Now, here's an exactly opposite case where a school is forcing non-Muslim girls to wear a hijab. And my fear is that if you impose certain rules, they'll just wake up one day and say, okay, if you don't want it, then don't come to our school.
Certainly. In fact, Shivani, if you compare the Karnataka issue with the Damoh issue, then the hypocrisy of the so-called liberals and some of the minority leaders is clearly exposed. And this particular school was also receiving grants from this government also. So therefore, it becomes under the law a public institution, not a minority institution, because once you receive a grant, you are amenable to the writ jurisdiction, because writ jurisdiction of the courts are issued for public authorities or which are directly or indirectly public authorities. Yeah. Since the taxpayers' money was going into this was not an absolute minority school. So hence the government rules and regulations would apply. And then people say it was a scarf. A scarf is not worn like this.
No, that's absolutely wrong. You're right. I discussed this last week and I was actually shocked. Let me take, Yogita Behana is also joining us, women's activist. Saira, I was also shocked that a lot of people try to pass this off as a headscarf. Now we'll run those pictures again, and I'm sorry to say this is not a headscarf by any stretch of imagination. But is this not wrong to force non-Muslim girls to wear a hijab? Saira Shah Halim, that question.
Is this question towards me?
Yes, Saira Shah Halim, that was for you. Please go ahead.
So, hi. So, firstly, I'd like to make it very clear that I think the principal has already put out a statement that headgear is not compulsory. Scarf is part of the uniform. Now, the thing is that here, according to the various articles that are floating on the net, it is alleged that right-wing organizations have made the complaint that the girls are being forced to wear the hijab because the class 12th poster came out, and that is the reason these right-wing outfits basically got behind the school. Now, whatever reputation we've heard about the school, I think the students do fairly well. Some of them are even toppers of class 12, and so far the parents have not had any complaint. Now, it is very clear that elections in Madhya Pradesh is around the corner, and as usual, BJP is flaring up a communal issue and trying to maximize and trying to polarize society by flaring up and trying to instigate.
Okay, but I just want to run those pictures once again. You can raise the issue about whether this is some right-wing conspiracy and all, but let's face it, Karuna Gopal, fundamentally, this issue came to light because this poster came to light. And this poster is not false. The school put up this poster. In this poster, it is very clear non-Muslim girls are wearing a hijab. It is not a headscarf by any stretch of imagination. And then there are school students themselves who have come out to say that they were being forced to wear it, that they couldn't enter or wouldn't be allowed to sit in classes if they didn't wear it. One of the school students is saying that the teachers, the bada teacher and the bada headmaster said that isko pehenna chahiye kyunki ye maryada hai. Now, schools are not institutions to impose maryada like this. This is appalling.
No, I agree that it should
Saira, this is for, one second, Saira, this is for Karuna Gopal. Yes.
Yeah, so Shivani, I'm not able to see the screen, but I don't know who the other person was before me. She said something about polarization. She talked about Madhya Pradesh going in for polls, but you know the reality, right? I mean, in Madhya Pradesh, we don't have to play these kind of games at all. I think Madhya Pradesh is quite safe, and they have been historically with us, with BJP. And if you really have to look at the numbers, I think the Muslim population is quite marginal, 6%, which means that we really don't have to play these games. So let's bury that question. Okay. Well, the second one is, it is true, it is highly appalling to see that these kids have been somehow coaxed, cajoled, maybe forced. We really don't know, but they somehow seem to be, wearing those attires. And from what we have seen earlier, it's a very a subtle way of influencing. Like, I would say that there is an ulterior motive. There perhaps is a conversion motive, behind all this, at the using the facade of education and using their institutional strength as well. So just like how we've seen in Kerala story, it's very easy for people to succumb to peer pressure. It's very easy for students to emulate others around them. And maybe they very unwittingly participated in all those recitations and etc., the prayers.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, they have of course come on record to also say they were being forced to recite Muslim prayers, I think verses from the Quran, etc. Why is that required? And wouldn't Muslim students, for example, object if the opposite was the case? It's only natural.
Absolutely. I mean, they would, you can't even imagine the kind of hell that this country would see if anything of that nature has been done, even a little bit. So even today, for instance, the question of, minority rights, and I mean, by what means 250 million is minority, I still fail to understand. But this subliminal kind of influence is very dangerous.
Okay,
Shivani.
Let me take
extremely dangerous.
Let me take that to Yogita. Let me take that to Yogita Bayana. I'll come to the issue of what the parents ideally should have done in this case, or the parents are also willfully neglecting what is happening because they don't have a choice. I'll come to that question in just a bit. But Yogita, it is a problem. Fundamentally, people don't look at this issue as people for whom it suits. And they want to rubbish this as polarization or religious communal issues. But fundamentally, in a plural country, you will have clashes, you will have lack of faith and, you know, clashes between communities if there is such obvious ways in which one religion is being imposed on members of another religion? That is what the fundamental issue here is. If a non-Muslim was made to do something that was Hindu or any other religion, it would create a problem. But why is it that when it's Hindu girls, then it almost seems like it's not a big issue?
Shivani, I don't know from which angle you are trying to divert this whole issue of education. The parents themselves must be having that compulsion to send their children, to send their daughters into the same school, because fundamentally in this country, we are not working on the education. We are really, I mean, even this lady, Karuna, is discussing about Kerala story, and you are just trying to suppress one religion. You're just trying to make Muslims look so bad, including your channel. I mean, it is so shameful that we are still discussing these things and you're trying to say that, you know, it was other way around. What have you done to minorities? I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm a Hindu, but I feel so sad for my Muslim brothers and sisters, because what is the atmosphere right now here? You are doing so much damage and clashes. You are trying.
I don't understand why, if I talk about these girls who are minor girls. One second.
You sitting as a journalist.
Yogita, just calm down for a second. I think the only person who is very agitated is you. It is nobody else. The only person, I don't understand. Okay, finally, Yogita. Okay, Yogita, just calm down. Yeah, clashes have been happening before I was a journalist. Clashes have been happening in this country before Karuna Gopal was born. Please don't blame us for what are fault lines in our communities. Yogita, I'm being patient with you. Just calm down, please.
You are criminals.
Okay, can you please lower her fader? What I was asking was, don't take her off air. Please keep her on air. What I was asking was that why is it that we can argue about Muslim girls' rights to wear hijab in secular institutions funded by the government and it is okay. But I can't raise the question of why is a private institution that is taking fees from the students forcing non-Muslim girls, as alleged, to wear a hijab. And that poster is crystal clear. Nobody is making this up. Okay, the school put up this poster. Yeah, let me just go to Desh Ratan Nigam. Desh Ratan Nigam, the other thing that has also come to light in this case is the role of the parents themselves. Is it lack of education, understanding, or is it nonchalant behavior by them that they feel that they don't need to worry about this? Because fundamentally, it's likely that the parents were aware of this.
See, Shivani, the fact is parents are fearful what will happen to their students and wards once they oppose it. And therefore, they prefer to remain quiet. It must have taken immense amount of courage for those girls who have come out and spoken, because I'm sure the schools will discriminate, the particular school will discriminate against them. I'm sure they have to study somewhere else. And secondly, you break the law, you compel non-Muslim students to wear hijab and recite prayers from Quran, and then you play a victim card. This is what is happening with the entire, you know, cabal which is happening, or the seculars which are there, and people, you have some of them, you have it on the channel also, and along with me, but they will play a victim card. They are not going to, in a secular country, you can't compel anybody. If a God, and therefore don't interfere. I'm not indisciplined like you.
Because
no, you then you are an agent of that school. Then you are an agent of that school that you are interfering. So it's better. You are an advocate. Array, you will speak like a stupid person.
See, okay, let's not turn this into a match between you two. Let's have each an opportunity to speak and express their mind. Yes, Desh Ratan. Saira ji, I'm coming to you. Desh Ratan, please finish your point.
Shivani, difficulty is they don't want to listen to anybody.
No, my only difficulty is, you know, anybody who sits here and tries and project that there are riots happening in this country between Hindus and Muslims.
Because you are doing it.
Yogita, can you please show basic courtesy and listen to the other side? You're on a debate. Just show basic courtesy. Listen to me, then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Just
kindly.
Now she's going to Kerala story. Okay. Anyways, just keep her muted. I'll give her an opportunity when I can. My point is this. Fundamentally, anybody who comes and says that, you know, since 2014 there's riots happening in this country, or there is riots happening because of media coverage, I'm sorry to say I'm not going to take this fake burden of this. Riots between Hindus and Muslims have been happening in this country since pre-independence.
Absolutely.
All right, it didn't happen because of the media, it didn't happen because of me or anybody else. And they happened because of the reasons they happened. And I am not one of those people who's going to shut my eyes to that. It is as simple as that. Let no one blame me for this. Anyways, Saira Shah Halim, you wanted to come in.
Can I complete?
Yeah. Okay, Deshratan Nigam. Saira, sorry. Let him just finish for 10-15 seconds. I'll come to you.
Yeah. See, therefore, you know, when people start talking about...
Saira, I'll come to you. Deshratan Nigam, please finish 30 seconds.
So the
See, the difficulty when people talk about riots, they forget about the statistic, the preponderance of riots prior to 2014 and subsequently.
Anyways, let's not go there. Let's stick to this subject.
So I'm still on the subject. I was saying that the amount of immense courage that these girls who have come out against this particular school and spoken, where they were discriminated against, they were forced to, you know, remove whatever the symbols of Kalava or Tilak they had worn, and they were forced to recite Quran. This cannot be permitted. This cannot be permitted under any circumstances.
Okay.
And therefore,
let's just keep in mind, though, these are allegations that have been made. Initially, it seemed like the state bureaucracy was giving a clean sheet to the school, but then the student statements came out. That is also the power of the media. Saira Shah Halim, I just want to point out. One second, please, one by one. Saira Shah Halim now. Saira, the other thing I wanted to point out. One second. The other thing I wanted to point out is that actually one of the students has also alleged that Muslim students get a discount on fees. Now, is that not, as Karuna Gopal said, subliminal messaging to convert? If you are, doing this in the name of religion and distinguishing between your students. Go ahead.
So Shivani, I think I need to enlighten the panel here that even in Catholic schools, a lot of Christian girls or even people who cannot afford are given discounts. I'll be very clear. And here again, I will talk about how the state has accused the school of carrying out religious conversion, which is wrong. Because all the 3 faculty members who are women have said that they were not converted.
Yes, they have said they have not been converted because of the school.
They changed their faith.
That's a separate charge. That's not related to this.
Let me please finish. So this whole conversion theory is completely bogus because the women themselves who have changed their faith clearly said that they got married and they changed their faith. They did not convert. They did not convert by force.
Yes, you're right. So let me just clarify this issue. Let me just clarify this issue for the benefit of our viewers. There are some faculty members. Saira, please yield. I have limited time. There are some faculty members who are converts who are working in this school. They have come out to say, the ladies have come out to say that they have not converted because of pressure of the school. They did it as adults whenever they did it. But the separate charge against the school is that as far as the young minors are concerned, there are alleged conversion tactics being used. That's a charge that has come in by a separate body, but we don't know if that is being investigated or not. We actually don't know that as of now. But Karuna Gopal, I have final 30 seconds left. Precisely the issue with discussing these issues is that, you know, it's okay to talk about insistence of hijab in government schools. Then it becomes a fundamental right. It becomes a right of education. Think about their girls' educations. But in this case, it is okay if you don't discuss it. And if you discuss it, then you are a riot monger. That's even worse.
So, I know that is the irony of this country and the secular facade that we maintain. I think this is what is leading to all kinds of problems. Today, for instance, I'm really not shocked to see a panelist who claims to be a Hindu but is fighting very vociferously for the other side. So if the country has many of them who are doing this overtly and covertly, so we will encounter more and more problems. And I'd like to say that it's nothing to do with politics. It's pervasive. It's a pan-India phenomenon. It's a pan-world phenomenon. One has to be really vigilant, and one has to really maybe stop this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but this kind of schizophrenic behavior, so that eventually all of us will somehow try to kind of find peace. This kind of overt and covert behaviors are very, very dangerous for this country, especially when we are on the threshold of growth and we are kind of geopolitically,
The other thing I will say vociferously is another thing is this, and I asked this question to one of our guests. In a plural society, if you've got conversion tactics going on, I'm not saying the school was doing it, let's see what the investigation reveals. But if you've got conversion tactics going on and there is enough evidence of that, historically, not just today, not just last year, not just 2 years ago, that's going to be a problem. Let's not pretend that proselytization is not going to cause problems in society. It will, and all sides need to respect each other. That's the only way that this can be stopped. Otherwise, you cannot blame one side for speaking up when there are sides that are proselytizing in your face. And I am not going to be an apologist for proselytization in a country like India.
No one should be.
No one should be. On that note, I'll thank our guests for joining us. We'll follow the story and see how it goes further. Certainly an investigation is going on. Time for a very short break. Coming up on the other side, Gujarat is gearing up for cyclone Biparjoy. A high alert has been issued by the authorities, and CNN News 18 gets you the latest as far as the preparations on ground is concerned.
पार्लियामेंट उसको जाने का पहले ठाकुरबाड़ी का इजाज़त लेना चाहिए था और एक लेटर भी भेजना चाहिए था, और ठाकुरबाड़ी का जो प्रैक्टिस है वो विदाउट फ्लैग जाना चाहिए था। हैट्स ऑफ टू द कम्युनिटी, ये लोग ने खुलकर विरोध किया। जो विरोध बंगाल का दूसरा प्रांत में करने के लिए माने एनवायरनमेंट भी नहीं है और क्षमता भी नहीं है।
देखिए, वो एक अनाउंस प्रोग्राम था, वो जो नवजुआर चल रहा है अभिषेक का मेन प्रोग्राम था, पॉलिटिकल प्रोग्राम था हावड़ा में। लेकिन अभिषेक का जो नवजुआर है वो तो जनजुआर बन चुका है। तो इस जनजुआर में भयभीत होकर भाजपा ने आज किसी समर्थक भाजपा कुछ लोग वो लोग बहुत डिस्टर्ब किया, मंदिर टेम्पल वो बंद करके रखा, स्लोगनिंग किया, और सेंट्रल फोर्स वो जूता पहन के मंदिर में घुस के मंदिर में घुस के सेंट्रल फोर्स को यूज करके वो लोग अभिषेक को मंदिर में घुसने से वो रोकने की कोशिश की।
কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনীর জওয়ান জুতো পরে ঠাকুরবাড়ির মন্দিরে প্রবেশ করেছে। আমি টুইট করেছি, ছবি আছে দেখবেন। তার জবাব আগামী দিন দেবেন কি দেবেন না? এরা ভাবছে আমরা যা ইচ্ছা তাই করব না। যখন চাইবো টাকা বন্ধ করে দেবো, যখন চাইবো কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনীকে জুতো পরে মন্দিরের ভিতর ঢুকিয়ে দেবো। বাপের সম্পত্তি নাকি পৈতৃক সম্পত্তি? শান্তনু ঠাকুর যদি ভেবে থাকে যে আমি অভিষেক বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়কে আটকাবো আর অমিত শাহকে পা চেটে ঢোকাবো, আগামী দিন মানুষ জবাব দেবে। আমি মানুষের উপর ছেড়ে দিয়ে যাচ্ছি।
We're crossing over to CNN News 18's Kamalika Sengupta to get us more details on this. Kamalika, can you tell us about who is for and against the demand for central forces during the Panchayat polls and what the reasoning is?
See, this is actually this total incident happened. Abhishek Banerjee is in Sanjog Yatra, Navjoar Yatra, for the last 2 months. He is going to every district. Now, his yatra was going in North 24th Pargana, where this Thakurbari is. Now, what is Thakurbari? Thakurbari is this temple of Mathua community, and Mathua community is very strong in this area, bordering areas, and around 60 constituencies. They are very strong. They are the people who came from Bangladesh, the Hindu minority people who came from Bangladesh, who are absolutely the backward classes, and they worship this. They have this temple here. Now, this temple, now Mathua vote is very important, and Abhishek Banerjee, because Thakurbari was in his way, every politician who goes there goes to Thakurbari. Now, Shantanu Thakur, who is a descendant of Thakurbari, he is a minister of BJP. Now, there were some protests by the BJP people, the BJP MLA, and all of them were there. They were trying to stop, that's what the local reporters are saying, they were trying to stop Abhishek Banerjee to enter into that temple. Now, Shubhendu Adhikari comes up with a tweet where he puts up a video and says that the temple area, some people came and they actually done something wrong in the temple area. He wanted Amit Shah's interference on this. On the other hand, Trinamool comes up with a video where they show that CISF Jawans who were with Shantanu Thakur, they with boot entered the temple.
As the political face-off continues over the Panchayat elections in West Bengal, the state's election commission will be submitting its report today over the requirement of central forces during the Panchayat polls. Now, the Calcutta High Court had issued a directive to see whether the calendar of polls can be reorganized or not, since opposition has claimed that less time has been given for filing nominations. Now, meanwhile, a war of words has erupted between the TMC and the BJP after ruckus took place outside of a temple in Bengal over TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee's visit. Major chaos had broken out between the supporters of the TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee and supporters of the Union Minister of State of
बिपोर जॉय साइक्लोन को लेके सारी तैयारियां हो गई हैं। फिलहाल हम कच्छ के इलाके में हैं, जो कच्छ का नलिया और जो मांडवी है उसमें काफ़ी असर दिखने वाला है। मांडवी के अंदर जो अभी समुद्र है वो आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से बिल्कुल करंट देखने को मिल रहा है, इसमें जो है उछाल देखने को मिल रहा है। सामान्य तौर पे ये मांडवी का बीच बिल्कुल शांत रहता था, लेकिन आज से ही इसकी शुरुआत होगी। आपको जो समुद्र में करंट देखने को मिल रहा है। फिलहाल 2 दिन का और समय, उसके बाद जो है वो जो कच्छ से गुजरने वाला है बिपोर जॉय साइक्लोन, ऐसी बात सामने आ रही है और काफ़ी आक्रामक बन के जो आगे आ रहा है, जिसको लेके जो तंत्र है वो सारी तैयारियां कर चुकी है।
साइक्लोन बिपोरजॉय को लेकर अब स्थिति स्पष्ट हो चुकी है कि ये साइक्लोन गुजरात के तटीय इलाकों से गुजरेगा। उस वक्त उसकी रफ्तार 135 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की होगी। वो कई इलाकों में तबाही मचा सकता है। फिलहाल आपको हम विंडी की एक इमेज दिखा रहे हैं कि कैसे ये मूव हो रहा है। देखिए, आप 13 और 14 तारीख का मूवमेंट भी देख लीजिए। ये जैसे जैसे ये पास में जाता हुआ साइक्लोन आपको गुजरात के तटीय इलाकों में दिख रहा है। ये दरअसल अभी 12 तारीख है। 13 तारीख यानी कल किस तरीके से यहाँ पर मूवमेंट होगा वो भी देख लीजिए। और 14 और 15 पर नजर लगाइएगा। ये मूवमेंट है वो गुजरात के तटीय इलाकों को छूता हुआ, खासतौर पे 15 तारीख को गुजरात के तटीय इलाकों को दिखता है, यहाँ पर दिख रहा है। और इसकी ये आपको मैं बता दूं, ये जो चीज है आपको जो रेड लाइन के साथ बीच में दिख रहा है, ये दरअसल इसकी आई है। ये इसकी आई है जो उसकी मूवमेंट फिक्स करते हैं। और वो अभी गुजरात के तटीय इलाकों में खासतौर पे इन कर्व पे और पहले ये जा रहा था मस्कत की ओर, फिर जा रहा था वो कराची की ओर, अब ये ड्रिफ्ट करता हुआ कराची की ओर, यानी अब ये इस तरीके से मूव होता हुआ दिख रहा है।
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching The Right Stand here on CNN News 18 with me, Poonam Borde. The ISIS threat is real and close for India. Many security analysts and observers will attest to the fact that this danger is very much present. It may not be a one that sends us into a tizzy, but it's definitely enough for our guard to be up. On the 27th of May, 3 men from Jabalpur were arrested by the National Investigating Agency for being alleged ISIS agents. The NIA seized sharp-edged weapons, ammunition, incriminating documents and digital devices during their crackdown on this particular ISIS model in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. Over the course of the last 2 weeks since the arrest, the NIA has unearthed the motive, the modus, and they are now trying to nail the mastermind of this entire nexus. Are these 3 men the ones that were running this ring, or were they just pawns in the hand of a puppeteer that is calling the shots? A sinister plot indeed is brewing, many say, the extent of which needs to be investigated. Their terror plans need a deeper and sustained probe, says the NIA, and the NIA hopes to do exactly that. The court has also now extended the custody for these 3 until the 8th of July. Custodial interrogation is what the NIA hopes will give them the leads that they need to crack this entire